Safety and Justice Challenge talent show. So maybe at the next venue, we'll try something new. So for those of you who think ahead, if you can write a song about the Safety and Justice Challenge, we might be able to debut that at the next meeting. So thank you again for attending this fall Safety and Justice Challenge Network convening. It's really, I know we're all really tired, but we're all really excited about the work that has occurred over the past year and having a chance to renew acquaintances, make some new friends, but more importantly, learn about the work that all of you are doing back in your own jurisdictions. So as I recall, when Charisse asked this question, there are about a third of you at your first network meeting. I hope you feel welcomed and part of this learning community that's emerged over the course of 10 SJC network meetings. I think and it's always been the case that when folks come to these meetings, it's always, quote unquote, the best one ever. But I think we did reach a new platform or a new inflection point in terms of the work that we're doing. We've been in this space now for 5 years, and some of the jurisdictions, we have 3 cohorts of implementation sites and 2 cohorts of innovation sites. As John and as I've said all along, this is one of MacArthur's big bets. And it's really, we've learned while we've been doing, we've made some in-course corrections. We've focused on new and emerging questions and problems that you've brought to our attention as you do the work. And I really feel this is a good public-private partnership with an array of different stakeholders. It's really quite unique when I look across this room of all of the different interests and stakeholders that we have around this table, around these tables, I should say, or in this room. But this overuse and misuse of jails, as you've talked about over the last several days, it really boils down to thinking about the individual's humanity, and not just the people who get caught up in the system, but the people who also are the actors within the system. And as we underscored at the outset of this meeting, and remembering the sheriff's deputy who was killed in the line of duty, we have to deal with a lot of hard stuff too, whether we're talking about trauma, whether we're talking about racial inequities, whether we're talking about behavioral health issues, if we're talking about people who are homeless. And what I appreciate about all of you is how you're thinking about the people who are involved in the criminal justice system as people, that they're individuals, they're brothers, sisters, they have children, they're parts of families, they're parts of communities. So I really want to thank you for taking this call to action and addressing these issues to heart. So please give yourselves a round of applause. So as we always mention when we gear up to return home, this work is not easy and this work is not quick. It's never really over, in fact. You've brought your work to another level, and of course we want you to bring it to even a higher level. We know that many of the issues you need to address involve systems over which you have no control, not only at the local level, but increasingly you have to deal with state issues. You also will have to deal with federal funding streams. And many of those other forces and factors that come into play have produced the inequality and disparities that often give rise to a person's involvement in the criminal justice system. And the increased attention that we've been focusing on racial and ethnic disparities, which we feel is equally important, if not the real driver of why we focus on the misuse and overuse of jails, has brought up some very challenging issues. We didn't get here overnight, but I'm hopeful because of what I've seen as the dedication and commitment, the openness and willingness to engage the issues on the people in this room, that you can bring into play a transformed system. It doesn't happen overnight. I think you all have committed to putting in the building blocks that are essential to move in this direction, the collaborative decision-making, engaging the community, regularly looking at your data and holding each other accountability, and centering the insight of the affected individuals and communities in your work, that you will continue to bring all of this, all of your efforts to another level. So over the course of the last 5 years, we've learned a lot. The questions, as I said, have gotten tougher and tougher. We saw some new themes being expressed in this meeting that we're pleased to see you committed to. Intersectionality is a word that gets thrown around a lot, but if there's one place where it all comes together and has particular meaning, it is in the criminal justice system. Is whether you're thinking about women and the particular issues that come up around women in jails, or transgender people in the jails, or a cross-disability approach to criminal justice. These are challenging issues that will really take a concerted effort from all of the stakeholders to address. One of the things that we're particularly proud of is the diversity of the kinds of jails that we have across the country that are represented in this room. So there's no way no one can say, well, it only could happen in New York City, or what happened in Harris County isn't applicable to what needs to happen in Palm Beach, or Toledo's a special case, it doesn't apply to what's happening. What happens in San Francisco can't be generalized. So I think that these strategies that you're raising and focusing on, where it's really from the ground up, that problem solving that needs to happen, is what distinguishes the work of the Safety and Justice Challenges. We've always said local problems require local solutions, but this is a set of issues that is national in its scope. But also what we've heard is what you're dealing with right now is how do you change the culture, the norms and the values that drive your system. And I want to speak to a moment about how we're dealing with moral, legal, and ethical issues, and they don't always align in the ways that we like them to. We really see you as our thought partners in how we address these issues. So we're thrilled with the progress to date, as we talked about the RTI evaluation. We want you to go home and celebrate what you've accomplished. We want you to maintain the connections that you've established here with your groups and with your peers in other jurisdictions, to hold tight to those. We want you to think about new ideas and new approaches like restorative justice. And we need you to take time to take care of yourself and remain committed to this work. We know that the work we've asked you to do and what you're committed to do is challenging and difficult. You're taking risks, you're being ambitious and bold, and sometimes there are setbacks, but hopefully you've developed the capacity to absorb those shocks and blows, and are yourselves resilient. So we hope that this meeting has restored and reinvigorated you, given you some momentum to take back home, because as you know, you are a leading edge of what we see a national movement to reduce the misuse and overuse of jails and tackle the problems related to racial and ethnic disparities. And on behalf of the foundation, we really appreciate your work. So I want to give a shout out to all of the folks who worked very hard to put this meeting together, to PJI, and in particular Diane Beer-Maxwell, who's been with us along this journey and helped set up this meeting, and to our new colleagues and friends with Dan Chu and his associates. So will you give them a round of applause? And of course, as I like to remind everyone, while I'm the one that stands up here, there's a whole host of folks back at the foundation that also are invested in this work. Our partners, the strategic allies, the site coordinators, all of the other TA providers, ISLG, who helps us with all of the data infrastructure, Bennett Midland, who helps with project management. Would you also give them a round of applause? So this is just an interlude. You all will be going back out into breakouts, but I know you're anxiously awaiting to see where will we see you next May. So wait, what happened? It's there. So even St. Louis didn't know that they were going to be there. So we'll be checking in with St. Louis about visits to the baseball park, looking at the arch. You guys have to help us find a venue that'll top the Rustic. So that's on your agenda, and hopefully you'll see some of the exciting projects and developments there in St. Louis. So I want to thank Harris County, the City of Houston. Would you give them a round of applause? And we look forward to, first let's go back out to rethinking jails. I'm hoping you use our hashtag. To St. Louis, we'll see you in May. And now what I'd like to do is bring one of Houston's, well, formerly one of Houston's own, back to the stage.
So I love it. It's early. I heard y'all had a good time at the Rustic last night. Awesome. Okay, so this morning there will be dancing. So I'm giving you the heads up. I'm gonna give you the overview so you can work up your nerves now. You can already be at the table and be like, okay, we volunteer you, because we don't have that much time and we want to maximize it so we can get all the pleasantries and all the coyness and the shyness out the way. So there will be dancing. I will need some volunteers. There will be hula hooping. Exactly, I know it'll work. I was actually bringing in the hula hoops early this morning. I met an awesome lady. I call her Lala. She's from West Palm Beach. Lala, where you at? There she go. I was like, I was to myself, right? I had that inner voice, and I was like, I don't know if they're ready for the hula hoops. But as I was bringing the hula hoops in, she ran up on me. We took a photo. We had a quick chat, and before I left, she was hula hooping in the lobby, unsolicited. So I was like, you know what? This might work. This might work. So we have hula hoops. We might do another type of freestyle. On Thursday, I shouted out Ronald Simpson Bay. We call him Uncle Ron from Just Leadership. I felt like he stunted on me, like he disappeared because he knew I was going to shout him out. But the truth is, he is like one of the busiest men in America. So he told me, man, he had just did like a Facebook Live. He had a conference call at the same time. He did a lot. So he wasn't there, but he texted me at 6:30 in the morning, which he is known to do when we were in Just Leadership. Like our call time was always at 7:30, right? Like everybody would fly in from across the country. We'd be in New York for the weekend, and then we'd have to go to the college, the John Jay College across the street, and we would leave at 7:30 sharp. Anyway, he would text everybody at 6:30, like, hey, I'll see you in the lobby at 7:15. 7:15, and then he would leave people if they weren't there. But anyway, he texted me this morning. He said he would be here, so shout out to Uncle Ron. Can y'all show him some love? Cool, business. So I expect y'all to say no and try to act shy, but can anybody beatbox? Exactly, see, there we go. Play the guitar. Dang, y'all lack talent that much? Sing. I don't believe you. We got one, hold up. Far left? Okay, she's very subtle. She must sing like opera, like I believe it. Okay. What's your name? Can everyone clap and make Karen feel warm and welcome? All right. No, wait, just wait for it. I'm gonna get you ready. Yeah, I thought the ice was broke, but I guess if you give it 48 hours, 36 hours, it just like chills back. So maybe I'll perform first, right? Like, I'll do a song, and then we can get back to the interaction and the engagement. So, yeah, I'm going to do a song called Rise. I dedicate this song to you. I hope that you would take the motivation that you have, like the education, the information, the motivation you've received since you've been here, and you would take it back to your community. My time for the next few moments would be to, again, just humanize the work, that you'd recognize that it's not just data, it's not just systems, that there are people involved. I will say since Thursday, I've had the opportunity to have multiple conversations with staff here at the hotel, here at the conference center, who just happened to be working while I was doing what I did on Thursday. And they are employed by various entities here at the convention center, yet they pulled me aside and told me their personal story of how they could relate to my story. So there's a power to stories. So we can't miss that. In the midst of doing all that we do, you can't miss that not only is there power in story, but actually these stories are actual people. And so we don't want to miss that, because they would come up and they would share like, hey, in a whispered tone. That's why I'm so bold about what I do. I recognize that there's value in what I do, and I need to lead. But just like you, and it's funny, Uncle Ron has the most amazing story, but he does so much work, but really he's not defined by just his story. He does so much for just leadership, for the formerly incarcerated. But me personally, I'm moved by his story. His story is powerful, even though that's not the totality of what he does. And I think many times as we do this work, people try to hide their story. Honestly, that's what I feel, and I get it. People get all excited about like having a PhD. Salute to you if you did that hard work, you got a PhD. Salute to you if you got an MBA or a master's. Salute to you if you have an undergrad, which people try to sleep on now, because right, that's kind of like a GED if you just get an undergraduate degree. Haha. See, y'all felt that. That's the biggest response I got from you in 2 days. I think that's sad. But it's funny though, it's like that meme, it's funny because it's true. It's funny because it's true. So it doesn't even matter if you get a college degree now. Now you have to get like like a graduate degree, or you have to get a PhD, but none of that really matters. I lectured at Harvard earlier this year. I graduated from the prestigious University of Texas at Austin with a 4.0. I get to talk about it because I did it, and I could do it if I wanted, but I recognize it does not define the work that I do. I'm also shrewd enough to recognize that it, kind of like a resume, it is a resume builder though. But you should not get caught up trying to build your resume. I run a company, I'm an entrepreneur. Actually, hold on. Can we get the slides up? All right, cool, that reminded me. I wanted y'all to feel good. I recognize that everybody is not an oral learner or audible, and some people are visual. So I brought my slideshow with me. Really, I just wanted to show that picture off. I look good. But yeah, when I said I was an entrepreneur, it reminded me, yeah, I'm an artist, activist, and an entrepreneur. I hire people. Like it's pretty amazing. But I recognize that a prerequisite for me to have an interview with someone to hire them, they need to have a resume. But once they show up in my office with the resume, I no longer look at the resume. I'm looking at them. I'm having a conversation with them, because it's like, great, you have a resume. If you didn't have a resume, you're not ready to have this conversation. But once you have the resume, now I need to know you. And so, sometimes our degrees and our accomplishments, those are resume builders. They're our resume. But the truth is, it's like, who are you? And I hope that you'd recognize that you don't have to hide behind your successes or your accomplishments, but really recognize that there's value, that you are valuable, than work that you do. Pop quiz. How many formerly incarcerated do we have in the building? Okay. My wife, she's from LA. She grew up in West Hollywood. She has a mom and dad, grew up affluent. I grew up with no mom, no dad, grew up poor. We're totally different. She does the same work that I do. She recently went to a meeting about criminal justice reform and whatnot, and she was made to feel belittled by someone that was in the room that spoke foolishly and passionately, but yet foolishly, and tried to invalidate, not her personally, but invalidate those that don't have criminal backgrounds as they do this work. Y'all have witnessed that before, right? There's a value when you are connected to it, when you've been through it, like myself. And at the same time, you are not devalued because you did not have the misfortune of actually being incarcerated. To be able to do this work, you do not have to actually be whatever the trendy word is right now, ex-felon, formerly incarcerated, returning citizen, whatever the word is, you do not have to be that to add value. You really just need to be human and have a heart. The extra value is, again, that resume builder stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna do a song called Rise, check it out. Rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. To rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Say, rise to the moment, rise to the occasion. Open your eyes, recognize there's greatness within your reach. You should seize it, you should take it. Can you see it? Can you taste destiny? Hard work in the planner, that's a recipe for success that'll launch you where them blessings be. The road to riches though, that's where them testers be. But I'm focused, you knowing how us Texans be. A lot of pride, plus a lot of confidence. And my job is to see what is not obvious. As a pioneer, an entrepreneur. So I'ma work it out till it's smoother than velour, for sure. See, I'ma make it to the finish line. I got my second win, and now it's finish time. It's like spinach time, and I am Popeye. Stop short? No, not I. Rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine. Won't you help me sing? Rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Now put your hands in the sky, waving side to side. We ain't going nowhere, we just waving bye-bye. To all of the hatred, to all the hatred. 2020, yeah, bigger, great, yeah, we gon' make it. Put your hands in the sky, waving side to side. We ain't going nowhere, we just waving bye-bye. To all of the hatred, to all the hatred. 2020, a great year, we gon' make it. Rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm kind of good at my job, so can y'all make some noise for the photographer? No, stop. I'm gonna come back to that. That's not me. Who's also good at their job is the photographer. And she's taking photos right now, so I'm gonna give her a great photo moment. Cause some of y'all, I'm gonna just be real. I'm trying to be nice, but I'm just gonna be real, man. Some of y'all lame. Y'all are lame. Y'all, your energy is terrible and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The arrogance is ridiculous. Like, it's not necessary, man. It's not necessary. I played at a country club on Monday. Like, stop it. Like, you are awesome. You do great work. That shouldn't be so, how could you do the work that you do and be so arrogant? How? It's terrible to be arrogant and ignorant. Like, I love words. Those words connect. That would be so terrible. Like, you can't be that arrogant and ignorant, because if you don't know, then you wouldn't realize how you would be impeding the work that you do. But anyway, the photographer is amazing. I know, because I saw the photos she took on Twitter. And so there's a part of the song when I say put your hands in the sky, wave them side to side. That would be your cue to actually... So if you do that, you'll look good when she takes a photo and they tweet it. I'm just trying to have you like go viral for the right reason. Because if somebody takes a clip that I just said, you would go viral for the wrong reason. They would be like, cool black dude goes in on bougie crowd. Like, that's not what the vision is. Anyway, let's try it again. I'm gonna sing the hook and then we're gonna go into the hands in the sky part. First the hook. Rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Said rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Now put your hands in the sky, waving side to side. We ain't going nowhere, we just waving bye-bye to all of the haters, all the haters, all of the haters. Say holla, see you later. Put your hands in the sky, waving side to side. We ain't going nowhere, we just waving bye-bye to all of the haters, to all the haters, to all of the haters, yeah. Say rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Say rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah, yeah, yeah. I talk to you crazy because I love you. It's just a true story. You should see me when I'm with young people. I really love it, man. I'm passionate. I'm passionate. The hate is strong in the world, is it not? When you leave this conference, the hate is strong. Some of you have not been on Yahoo for the last 12 hours, so you don't even know what happened lately in D.C., right? I don't know either, but it's crazy. As soon as you see it, it's going to be crazy again. Like, wow. The hate is strong. The world is crazy. We have to be as passionate. You can't approach it. That's why I love, like, when you do this work, especially when you get down to the people, the systems are not indestructible. They can be disrupted. They can be blown up. They can be rebuilt, right? But when you get back down to the people, like, again, culture is a system, and cultures are strong. You can't come at it with a half-hearted effort and expect to, like, impact somebody's life. They are rooted in what they do. It's been there. It's generational. It was there before you got your degree. It was there before you got the idea you wanted to give back or do good. It's been there, right? Once we start talking about systems, we realize it goes back decades, if not centuries, but depending on what system you're referring to. So you can't come at it with like this a half-hearted effort. So I recognize that. So this passion, don't confuse it. It's just I recognize that right now I'm in the huddle. Like you're the ones that do the work. It's awesome when I'm over here, when I'm over there, but right now you're the ones that do the work. I want you to get it. Let me walk you through this real quick. Cool. So on a regular day, this is what I do, man. I recognize that there's a pipeline. I don't want to have the conversation about that pipeline. We know what that pipeline is. It goes from this end to that end, and there are many points in between. I'm personally passionate about the young people because I was that young person. I went to prison because I was successful. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. I did not go to prison because I was an idiot, ignorant, stupid, because I failed. I went to prison because I succeeded at the blueprint the hood gave me. I succeeded at it. Here's a question, right? If somebody plays football and they're really, really good at it, if they're great at it, where do they go? The NFL. If somebody plays basketball and they're really, really good at it, where do they go? If somebody's in the hood, the trap, if somebody's doing criminal activity, getting money, quote unquote, right? That's what they told me in the hood, get money, and they're really, really good at it, where do they go? Wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, wait a minute. Like in those other two, it's like this positive outcome. If I'm really good at it, I get arrested by the FBI when I'm 17. But I succeeded. Wait a minute. Because then they celebrate me after I succeed. By the time I was 20, I told you Thursday, right? I'm convicted of 4 felonies, and I'm sitting in the Texas State Penitentiary. Because I succeeded. But see, I'm the candid one, the one who's like, I'm not going to play this game and act like it's all good. It's not all good. Prison sucks. It sucks. On Father's Day, I seen so many gangsters cry. I seen people cry. I seen so many men, tattooed teardrops. They cried real tears on Saturdays when they would come back from visits. When they would get a letter in the mail and they were told their mom died and they can't go to the funeral. See, they don't tell you that part when you back in the hood, when you back in the trap, like, oh, So, but anyway, this picture right here, whether you can tell or not, it's me, a bunch of young people, different events. We host festivals in communities, in schools. We usually in Title I schools. I'm excited. I was talking to somebody yesterday. If you got the plug, we just hosted a festival in Oakland, a big community festival. Our clients are cities, governments, state agencies, right? So we create these diverse and inclusive environments because I just want to reach, fancy talk to say I like to reach people. But we also do them in prisons. So I want to come host a festival in a prison. If you're the connect or the plug for that, you should holler at me because we can come do like this whole turnkey event and just bring that entertainment, inspiration, and empowerment, that hope to prisons because you have to reach people where they are. You can't wait for people to come to you. So that's what we do. We create memories, we change lives. I worked with a bunch of cool people. See, I recognize the validation in a cool resume. I don't want to go get a PhD. I don't think it's necessary for the work that I do. But to have influence in the communities where I'm at, I found it was key to work with companies like the NFL, like the NBA, like Johnson & Johnson, Honey Bunches of Oats, ESPN. See, I could tell you the hottest label in Austin right now, and you wouldn't even know who they are. But when I say Johnson & Johnson, they're like, oh, that's the reason I'm not ashy right now. I know Johnson & Johnson. I did a commercial for Honey Bunches of Oats. Coolest thing I like to tell this story because maybe you can appreciate it. They reached out to me out the blue, said, SaulPaul, would you do a song for us, right? I said, I was blown away. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it's Honey Bunches of Oats. I eat Honey Bunches of Oats. So it was on point. It was on brand. And then so I wrote a song for them, and then they made a commercial, a big video, an extended video about it. And then they asked me, like, they paid me a bunch of money to do it. That was cool. But then they asked me how much would I charge to be in the video. And I remember thinking, like, I would have did the thing for free. Like, y'all tripping. Like this is mind-blowing. Like, but it's crazy because I'm also not ignorant to the fact that if I applied for a job working in a warehouse at Honey Bunches of Oats, I probably couldn't even work there because of my criminal background, right? So this is my resume builder. I appreciate yours. Just don't be defined by it. I played at a country club for this insurance company called Gallagher Insurance on Monday. Pretty amazing. On Tuesday, I played in the middle of the hood for National Night Out. I do a bunch of dope stuff, but I'm not defined by it. I remember my why. I wanted to ask you that this morning. What is your why? Remember what your why is. Don't forget. Don't get lost in the sauce. As you do what you do, like, don't get lost in it. Remember what your why is. And it's your responsibility because when you started, there was nobody with you. Maybe your spouse, probably not your family. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people really understand why you do what you do in the first place. So it's on you. It's your personal responsibility to remember your why. Even as you add to your resume, even as you do dope stuff. If you're not doing dope stuff, you need to step your game up. You should be doing dope stuff. That's just a prerequisite. All right, cool. We talk about that pipeline. I work with organizations. It's cool that I get to work with cool brands like this. I'm more excited to work with organizations like this. Sparks for Success, it's an organization in Austin. They teach free music lessons to children of incarcerated parents. That's what Sparks for Success does. Jail to Jobs works with teens when they get out of prison, not even prison, get out of juvie, help them get the basics like an ID and various other things, and more importantly, get them in position so that they can actually get a job. And the SaulPaul Foundation, that's the overarching umbrella for all the work that we do, which is a whole lot. I focus on three things: economic empowerment and financial literacy. Focus on education, not incarceration, and jail reform. That's what we do at the SaulPaul Foundation. Now, I wanted to ask who's in the room. I already asked. I started it, right? I said, where are formerly incarcerated? You raised your hand. How many attorneys do we have in the room? Okay. You should have a conversation with a formerly incarcerated person if you haven't before you left. And I know you do it in your community all the time, but it's good to get an outside perspective and talk to people in other communities as well. Outside the stage, when people are off and really understand. We have any judges? Okay, we got judges in the room. Okay, thank you. We have any nonprofit executive directors? And we have any folks that just work in nonprofits? Thank you. Law enforcement. any and every aspect of law enforcement. See, like the MacArthur Foundation, more specifically safety and justice, the strategy that's employed here is amazing. That's why we have like this cross, this, as you said, intersectionality. Is that the word? Somebody should have gave me that word Thursday. That's like a hard word. That's many syllables right there. Intersectionality. Is that a real word? It sounds made up. Okay, well, you're officially a rapper now. You get to make up words. We just make up words as we go. There it is, deuces. And if I forgot you, forgive me, but more so it's not about the title. You know that. You do the work that you do. I just don't know. There's so many different nuances and labels to it. I just want to know, I want you to know who's in the room, right? I told you about the part that I play. I've told you about the part that you play, and I want you to recognize teamwork makes the dream work. I'll say this, I'll do another song. Can somebody name a famous right guard that won a Super Bowl? One more time. Do y'all know who that is? Yes? I don't know who that is. But it proves my point, though, because I knew that would happen. I don't even know a right guard. Who doesn't even know what a right guard is? Look at that. More people in the room don't even know what a right guard is or what sport that is, let alone who that is, what team they play for, and if they won a Super Bowl. But you know what? When you're a part of a team, some roles are more prominent than others. Anybody ever heard of Tom Brady? Right? Cool, right? Won 6 Super Bowls, blah, blah, blah. 2 different teams, 3 with one with another. My point is this, when you're on a team, you play a role. Your role might not be the most prominent role, but nonetheless, teamwork makes the dream work. It's on you to recognize the significance of your role. It's great if somebody shouts you out. I'm naturally an introvert. My job makes me be on stage, though. I shut up and do my job. I just go with it because I'm passionate. I know what my why is. I know what my work is. This is just a necessary part of the job. Some roles are more prominent than others. I just encourage you to recognize that it takes a team. We're all on the same team. This is the huddle. This is the locker room. We all play a different part. Some people play more prominent roles than others, or their job is more prominent. Nonetheless, without a good offensive line, there's no Tom Brady. Without a good right guard, there's no running back here. Without a good defense, without a good defensive coordinator or a coach or this, a general manager even, the person who oversees all that, not even the owner, just the general manager. And if I'm losing you, this is what y'all sound like when you do community meetings and use a bunch of acronyms that the community doesn't understand. So if I lost you, then it's all good because this is going to happen when you go back next week. And you're going to be like, yeah, the AFPCA and the DO, the CFO, and the CIO of the blase. That's what it sounds like. What I'm saying is football. And there are a bunch of people on a football team. And when they win the Super Bowl, everybody gets a ring because the goal was accomplished. It wasn't about the individual successes. It was about the ultimate goal. And for us, y'all have been talking about it for the last 2 days. Actually, you talk about it all the time in your work and in your community, what the actual goal is. You know what the goal is, and it's a team effort. Okay, cool. Is it Karen? All right, come up, Karen. I need somebody that's available. You don't have to be able to beatbox. You just have to be willing to come up and let me teach you. So who's brave enough to come up and let me teach you? Was that a hand? That was a hand. We have one back there? All right, come on. Hold up. I'm going to spread the love. Is that my boy? Okay, no, sit back down, sit back down. I appreciate you, Asheville. I appreciate you, Big T. I'm trying to spread the love, so you can't keep saving these people. I'm not up here because, oh yeah, that reminds me of another point I wanted to make. That song, Rise, sounded good, right? Okay, see, I didn't need any help with that. When I'm asking, it's not because I need. I'm providing an opportunity. There's a difference. You have to start recognizing that. People think they're going around helping people, and it's like it really wasn't about you. It really wasn't about them. It's more about you. Is this an opportunity for you? You can avoid being burnt out because you, instead of going around trying to be Captain Save them and thinking like, they need me. Like, I don't need y'all. How you doing, girl? Give me some. I look forward to collaborating with her, but I didn't need anybody. I could get up here and play for 45 minutes. Easy. Don't even talk. The interaction is key. I have a different goal that people don't get. That's why they like, cool, like rapper singing something. That's not my goal. My goal is to inspire and empower, to challenge you and encourage you. See, when you go into the work assuming one thing instead of like assessing a situation and recognizing what's really needed, you approach it wrong. All right, so you had your hand up. All right, come up. There you go. All right. And your name?
Aisha.
Everyone say, hey, Aisha. All right, Aisha. All you gotta do is, let me see here. Go, let me hear you. Beatbox. Just do whatever you got. Anything.
Okay.
Step over this way. Step over this way. All right. Now, if you do that and just repeat it, if y'all clap, encourage her. All right. So just hold the mic a little bit closer and just do that. She been over here on that Milli Vanilli the whole time. No, she just did that. Give it up for Aisha. High five. Oh, yeah. All right. You can grab a seat now. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Karen? All right, I'm going to give you this mic. Let me hear a little bit of, let me see. We're gonna do it like old school R&B, like when they didn't even say words, they would just ooh, just like, see, she's like, I can do that. Yeah, exactly. Well, no, you do you. I'm gonna play, and then like you do what you feel.
All right. You guys are more synagogue choir than American Idol, so.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Y'all did a good job on that hands in the sky stuff. Hold on, let me see. Y'all did a good job on that hands in the sky stuff. So I think that'll be our hook. Yeah, I'll figure out how to make that go, and then we're gonna do something about the intersectionality. How about that? Let me see. But let me make a point. Well, let me bring it together. Okay, y'all still remember how to chunk the deuce? Deuces. All right, let's see. Hey. Put your hands in the sky, waving side to side. We ain't going nowhere, we just waving bye-bye. All of the haters, to all the haters, all of the haters, yeah. Now put your hands in the sky, waving side to side. We ain't going nowhere, we just waving bye-bye. Okay, hey. I love it. Give it up for Karen and Aisha. Real quick, I just want to bring this together. So we just made a song, and what it took were people that were willing to make themselves available. Aisha, a self-professed professional who does not know how to beatbox. Nonetheless, she made herself available. And she came up and through some direction, she did what she did. Really, not even much direction, just the opportunity and the platform. And she brought the beat, then I played some guitar on top of it. Then Karen, who was already on deck, she volunteered before she knew there was any before she knew what she would have to do at all. And then she just did what she did. She brought what she had to it. Again, not her ability, but her availability. And then we just made a song together. That's why I want to encourage you. Pad the resume. Go hard. Be dope. If you're not dope, you're doing something wrong. Yet, don't be defined by that. I don't know what Aisha does. I don't know what Karen does. I just know that they were available. And we were able to create a moment and an experience. And it was about the intersectionality, right? Like it all came together. I want to conclude, since y'all came to Texas, I want to conclude with a dance, and then I'm going to get out the way. We're going to do this real quick. I need at least 6 volunteers to do the Texas two-step with me. You don't have to know how to do it because you don't. I made it up. So I will teach you how to do it. I just need 6 people, 6 able bodies. Uncle Ron is leading the charge. There we go. There we go. Remember, keep it diverse. I see 3 black women walking right here, but that's expected. Oh, you may be black, not black. Okay, here we go. See, they didn't see that coming. Uh-oh. They didn't see that coming. I saw you, though. Let me see. One time. Yes, let's even it up. Let's even it up because, again, what's your name? Katie. Did you take the photos on Thursday? Yeah, she takes them all, yeah. Give it up for Katie. She does a great job. I can tell even if y'all do it wrong, she's going to make y'all look right. But she was like, yeah, if that would even up, that would look better. All right, perfect. Yep, we got a great group. So cool. Is Milwaukee in the building? Milwaukee, you know Milwaukee? There we go in the back. Check it out. The first time I went to Milwaukee was maybe 5 years ago. I went for the Summerfest. I was playing. I was on tour with the state of Texas Tourism Division. They sent me off, and we represented Texas across the country. I played all these big major festivals, so I was at Summerfest. The first day I go to Summerfest, I did what I do. If you haven't caught on yet, I'm dope. So I was on stage. Boom, I did it. When I got off stage, people came up to me like, hey, bro, you dope. Where you from? I said, I'm from Texas. They said, Texas? I said, yeah. They said, what color your horse is? I was like, wow. They weren't trying to sneak this. They didn't know. Like, they watch TV. I don't know. They think we riding around on horses, got tumbleweeds rolling down Maine or something. And I was like, okay, I got to show these people a different side of Texas. So I went back to my hotel. I wrote this song called the Texas Two-Step. Created this dance. I had Miss Bianca. She's around here somewhere taking photos. She's always with me. She's the choreographer. I came up with the words of the beat, whatever. She came up with the dance. So I'm going to teach y'all how to do it. We're going to all do it together. So it goes like this. I say, can you walk it forward? You take one step forward. Can you walk it back? This is the hardest part, and it's easy. Then I say, lean with it, rock with it. Basically, it's a 1-2 snap. Like this. 1-2 snap. Hey, 1-2 snap. One time, let me see you. 1. Okay, stop. Hold on. Y'all good over here? Y'all thought y'all was gonna cheat over here? Like he can't see down there. Okay, I'm gonna come down here. It goes like this. I'm gonna get in the front so y'all all can see. All right. It goes like this. 1-2 snap. 1-2 snap. Are you sure you don't want to join us? Okay. All right. What? Oh. There we go. All right, so we know half the dance now. We halfway there. Goes like this. I don't need that for this right now. Y'all don't hear me. All right, goes like this. Can you walk it forward? Can you walk it back? Lean with it, rock with it, just like that. Do that Texas two-step. And then y'all say, hey. Now do that Texas two-step. Hey. Can you walk it forward? Can you walk it back? Hey. Lean with it, rock with it, just like that. Do that Texas two-step. Hey. Do that Texas two-step. Hey. Give it up for our volunteers. All right. Now check it out. As long as you're having fun, you're doing it right. That's the real takeaway. I heard some folks say ad-lib. Yep, you can ad-lib as long as you're having fun. You're doing all right. Here we go. Everybody clap. Everybody clap. Everybody clap. Okay, now stop. Let's go. I said, can you walk it forward? Can you walk it back? Lean with it, rock with it, just like that. Now do that Texas two-step. Hey, hey. Now do that Texas two-step. Hey, hey. I said, can you walk it forward? Can you walk it back? Hey. Lean with it, rock with it, just like that. Now do that Texas two-step. Hey, hey. Now do that Texas two-step. Hey, hey. You can play this in your white tee, or if you suit it up. Chuck J's, high heels, or if you boot it up. You picture perfect, hey, I promise you look cute enough. Kick back, don't relax, yeah, you do enough. This is for my family at the park, about to cue it up. Mr. DJ, this the one, go on, cue it up. We Texas two-stepping, true, it may be new to you, but if you let me school you, I can show you how to do it. What? Can you walk it forward? Can you walk it back? Go ahead. Lean with it, rock with it, just like that. Now do that Texas two-step. Hey, looking good, Laurie. Now do that Texas two-step. Hey, okay, three. Can you walk it forward? Can you walk it back? Okay. Lean with it, rock with it, just like that. Now do that Texas two-step. Hey, hey. Now do that Texas two-step. Hey, give it up for these Texas two-steppers right here. Uber, iPhone. Hi. I'm sweating. The ice must be broken. All right. Check in the mail. There it is. All right. I know some of y'all got to check out still, and there's a transition and whatnot. So I feel good about what I've communicated. I feel that you've been entertained, inspired, and empowered. I feel that you recognize. You can go ahead and clap for that. I hope you recognize, I hope you've been reminded of what your why is, right? That's a self-reflective moment for you to recognize what is your why. I hope that you get the most from the rest of the day, and as you go back to your communities, you go back energized and recharged. I hope you recognize that the difference that you make is significant. It counts. Yeah, and that's it. I'm not going to say a big, long goodbye. I'll be around. I appreciate you. Continually be, somebody switched. I don't know where that came from. Thank you. Some of the songs I performed are from my book, Be the Change. It comes out this November. If you would like a pre-release copy, let me know. I will let you have it in exchange for your honest review. I want to share this with the world. It's me sharing my story in words. I've been doing this for 15 years from the stage and through my music. But for the first time, I took the time to write out my memoir and share the story because after having spoke to so many people, hundreds of thousands, I know what people wanted to know. And I wrote it and I shared it, and I want to be able to share this with the world. And I'm looking for some honest reviews of influential individuals like yourself who have padded your resume. That's why you're so successful, right? And I want to be able to say, this is what you thought about it. I know it's powerful. I know it works. It's called Be the Change, and it's my story of transformation, how I went from prison incarceration to college graduation. So I want to be able to encourage and inspire others to recognize that my success is not abnormal. Like maybe my boldness, maybe my candor is, but really, man, my Just Leadership cohort was amazing. If you ever want to feel regular, go to Just Leadership, because it's just a bunch of amazing people who do great things, and then they tell you the story of how they were incarcerated for 30 years falsely, got out, and then when they did great things, like Uncle Ron, or individuals that not just have PhDs, but are doctors and have done this and doing that and just great things. But this is my story. And I tell it in a very creative, colorful way, and it involves music, like the songs that I shared, and tells you the backstory behind the music. So if anybody would like a copy, I have some with me. I would love to share that with you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, one more time.